You know, the most interesting thing happened to me last week. You know, I always start a video off with the most interesting, or this thing, or sorry, but I really mean it when I say it this time. Last week at work, you know, I work with, you know, my brother, my dad, and, you know, for the summer, 3, I'm gonna say people around my age, but, yeah, once, you know, like senior year of high school. But that guy in particular, I don't know what the hell it is, but he is one hell of a detective. Like, he figured out my birthday, my month, my year, even the date. I was like, dude, this guy has to, like, he was told what my birthday and everything was, because there's no way he was spot on about that. I refuse to believe it. But the main thing is, you know, I've told I think my dad figured it out that I do YouTube content and, you know, all that sorts of stuff. You know, he figured it out. You know, I never told him. He just figured it out. I was like, yeah, we're just gonna go run with it. Then I told my brother about it, which, you know, he thought it was cool. But the thing I find interesting is, you know, I don't really talk about what I do, you know, at home or whatever. I just say I just go home. I just don't do much, you know, just living a quiet life and whatever else. But yeah, just because, you know, I don't remember. I don't know what happened, but the 3 younger guys I mentioned previously figured out I stream because my brother said something about, like, yeah, Jay streams, and I was like, that cat's out of the bag. And they all looked at me, he's like, you stream? And I was like, yeah. And they're asking for my username, and, you know, they're following that account. We're both following each other on, you know, my personal actual, like, talk to people Instagram account, because that is literally the only reason why I use it. Just post stuff, look at gaming news, and, you know, talk to people on there. But I think it's interesting. The main point I wanted to get at was, you know, I kind of didn't think much of it was going to happen. Then all of a sudden, there's this one guy that we work for. He's creating all these houses, you know, that we're pouring the concrete for and everything. You know, he is a really cool guy. Every time I'm around him, I really enjoy his company. Because, I mean, when I tell you this guy is, I don't want to get it wrong, but I feel like no matter how I'm going to say it, I'm going to end up getting it wrong. But he, you know, makes the houses. And, you know, he knows, I think a lot of stuff. It's hard to say because the only things I've truly seen him do is help us, you know, when I started with concrete and frame. And, you know, for the most part, he's there when the houses are being made. He's just watching and, you know, walking around and everything, you know, just being there. And that's really cool. But the thing I find really interesting, and I actually had to push back a few videos to get this out because of how much I've been kind of sitting with it, because I don't really know what to think about it. He came up to me and he's said something about, like, you create videos or make them, or, you know, something like that. And I was like, yeah, he was just kind of more or less talking to me about it. And I was sitting there because I was like, that's really weird, because I don't remember, you know, saying anything to him. I don't remember saying it. I thought it was interesting, and I was trying to, like, I was like, you know, there's probably another reason. I'm not entirely sure on why he knows. Then my brother came up to me and went like, yeah, did Wally talk to you? And I was like, no, I mean, nah, whoops, nope, that's not his name. I just watched Wally. I'm gonna call him. Nah, I can't think of a number. I can't think of a letter. But yeah, he just said, you know, did he talk to you? And I was like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, that was probably like me saying something about it or whatever. Which, you know, it's kind of interesting because I was trying to figure out why. And, you know, he was going to come back, you know, later or next time he sees me or whatever and ask me more questions about it. And I was kind of just sitting there. I was like, now, I'm not entirely sure whether this is going to lead. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but it's just been kind of a thought in the back of my mind. I'm just kind of curious, because he's curious about, you know, me video editing, and I'm wondering if he's, like, I don't know. I don't know what to really say. It's just I have a lot of questions, and I don't have that many answers, and right now I'm recording this the Sunday before this goes live, so I should be Tuesday when this is coming out, so this is probably going to be old news or whatever, but I'm recording this Sunday, so I'm not entirely sure because I'm sitting there with these thoughts and I'm like, I don't know, and I'm probably making a, like, giant hill out of nothing. But, you know, it's just something I've been just sitting there thinking about because I don't know. I just have a lot of questions. I have a lot of questions and no answers right now. I don't know what to do. And, you know, that's the other thing I try to do, because I don't like talking about what I do at home and, you know, what I'm at work. Like me making videos and me talking and streaming and doing all sorts of things. That's stuff I don't really like to talk about, because I don't want to say I don't trust people, but I don't want to have somebody with no goals, no aspirations in life being like, well, that's just stupid. I don't know why you're doing that. There's no reason for you to do that, because I don't know where I'm going with my life, because I don't know what I want. Truth is, I don't know where I'm going with my life either, but there's at least a few things I definitely want. But no, it's why I'm really hesitant on sharing stuff with people, you know, especially me doing YouTube, me doing, like, you know, some other things I'm just curious about, seeing if it clicks or whatnot. Not very open. I'm just a little chaotic, crazy, chaotic, whatever else you want to say. So, I mean, that's kind of all I got. It was just a thought bouncing around in the back of my head. It was just kind of something I wanted to sit down and talk about and, you know, say, because that's kind of, I don't like sitting in with thoughts, and, you know, it makes me sleep a little bit easier. So either way, thank you very much for listening to me ramble, and if anything made sense to you here, I mean, I would like to know, and I don't know if you got anything that, you know, that could help, that'd be appreciative. But either way, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to catch you soon. Take care.